Hello.
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
Hello.
What was that? Are you chanting in delirium? What's going on?
Delirium for all the work that never stops.
No, it never ends. All the fun never ends.
And but I guess I wouldn't want it the other way.
No, it was. We were just getting out of Halloween weekend. Did you do any Halloweeny stuff? Did you?
So we failed on the candy giving.
You failed.
Hello, Mama.
Hey, Sarah. How did you fail on giving away candy? It seems like the easiest thing to do.
One, we decided not to do it.
That's a big fail. That's the first misstep in your plan.
We did it a couple of years ago, and I was like, you know what? Like, I was running around doing some things, and I'm like, shit, tonight's Halloween. I'm like, fuck it, I'm not doing it. You know, like, it's fine. And we ended up just staying in and just kind of watching horror films.
That's nice.
So, well, you.
I mean, I never had any plans to give away candy. One day, I feel like I will have a corridor of madness going to the candy depository at my place. Because you know my place, I have that little kind of iron gates,
Dude,
and people can walk through that.
For that.
Yeah,
Holy
so
shit.
So one day, when I have the time, I want to make something really cool where kids can walk through and get freaked the fuck out, right?
You could the alley, and then you could walk down one side, crazy shit, and then walk out the other. So
that's true. You could actually even split it up, right?
Yeah.
So, but you know, this year just so much has been going on. So, and as life has it, my anniversary with Stephanie is on Halloween because you know that's what our first date was, Halloween. Aww. You know, that's what we did, right? So,
well, congrats, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been a wonderful 4 years, and so you know that's always it's either dress up or so we dressed up, but we got fancy. Yeah, we went out for a nice dinner, had some steak, had some seafood, some wine and drinks. Much more my kind of trick-or-treating these days than
treat yourself.
Exactly. Treat myself and then trick myself later.
Yeah.
But and then we watched the Bond movie last night on Halloween. We went to go see No Time to Die. Really.
Okay.
So
nice.
Yeah, quite loved it. Not my favorite Bond, but it was a solid flick.
That's cool.
And I think a good send out for the story arc of the Daniel Craig Bond, if that makes sense.
Okay, so that's his last one, you're saying?
Oh, for sure, yeah. Without putting any spoilers out, it definitely closes his storyline in a nice, succinct manner, basically.
Nice. Well, you know, speaking of old guys.
See, actually, we should actually hum our theme song with our coming guests, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, like on a 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, doobie doobie doo. I think I hear that Sinatra tune anytime, and I think of Cully now, which is just my favorite thing in the world. So tonight's special guest is Cully Hamner. So let's get this man on here right now. Hey, Cully, how you doing?
Oh,
he's on mute somewhere.
Old man.
I don't know what's going on. Nope. He was working before. Maybe Rob broke him.
Oh, his mic is muted.
His mic is muted. Why is his mic muted?
Maybe he was something. This is a professional operation, by the way.
Unmute mic.
I think what was happening is he was sharing his screen.
Oh.
He was sharing his screen with his art. Maybe the sound was coming into there.
He's muted. Let's say, hey, Rob, share my screen. It's like, oh no, hold on a second. Let's see here.
Hi, Stephanie.
Let's say, Cully.
Stephanie, why didn't you come out and see me when I was in Toronto? Strike 1. Or 2. I think it's strike 2 now. Strike 2.
I don't know what to say, Cully. we're gonna write notes to each other. I am not. Oh god, this is gonna be I don't what's going on here?
This is the greatest intro ever, man.
We're going psychedelic now.
So I actually think what it is
I think it's talk to Rob. Rob, put
sharing his screen.
I'm picking and it says he's muted his mic on his image.
I know. Rob, share his screen, would you? His art screen.
Yeah, and then we'll probably hear him. That's what I think it is.
Yeah. How about now, Cully?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah! We can hear you.
That shouldn't. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that should be. You're okay. It's my overhead mic.
Yeah. It's the arc. It's the arc. Yeah. So we'll just leave because you're such an awesome artist. We're just gonna leave your art up the whole time now. That's what's gonna happen.
Better be good, buddy.
God.
I just like writing secret messages to you on the screen. That's my favorite part.
You made me waste a piece of board, man.
Flip it over. Flip it over.
Doobie doobie dumb.
Doobie doobie doo.
Do always talk.
That was perhaps one of the greatest after parties I've ever had after a con. That was a solid night of silliness.
That was in Toronto, right?
Yeah, that was a Toronto rooftop bar.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
We got a little bit messy there that time.
We did.
We put the drink in drinking and not drawing, basically.
That was a good night, though. That was a very good night. How are you guys doing?
Doing very
Good,
well,
buddy.
you know,
Really
as we were saying earlier, like busy. Strangely so, being it's a pandemic and everything, but it seems like life and work has just been nonstop, which is a good thing in a time when people are having trouble getting work or being suspended. I know a lot of people here were on government assistance during the pandemic. I'm not sure how it was there in the States either, but
well, it's really strange because here in the States there's obviously, like, in the very, very beginning of the pandemic, like, a lot of people went, like, 30 million people went on unemployment, immediately, right? But, now, mostly everybody's back to work. There's, like, 4 or 5 million people that are still not to work. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're kind of like, I'm not going to go back to the shitty jobs that, I don't know if I can say that, but okay.
I think that's happened here, too.
Oh, yeah, share. Yeah, you can fucking swear.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You can do all the things.
Yeah, but I think that there's an attitude of holding out for better job conditions. Better pay.
Well, I know a lot of people here were also they were making more money on the subsidy.
That's something that's a talking point here, but I don't think it's true. I mean, because government assistance for this pandemic ran out months ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, these people are staying home without government assistance because they, I think, we're talking service people, we're talking teachers and people who are just pay me better, give me better working conditions.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Not to get into a whole political thing, but I think there's a lot of that. So.
Oh yeah, I think to a certain degree for sure.
Whereabouts are you, Cully?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Yeah. In my palatial estate in Austin, Texas.
I love it. One day.
But you guys would love Austin, by the way.
It's one of my bucket list places to go. Actually, I've always.
Ramon, there's a Soho house here now.
Oh shit! Oh, nice.
So
I definitely want to come. I mean, to see you and
definitely go visit him, Ramon.
And you also don't you guys also have? I think it's a con called Staples or something that's an indie kind of.
Yeah, it's like an indie con. I don't know. I think it's sort of. I get the impression that it's sort of dormant at the moment because of COVID. I don't know if it's coming back or not. I hope it does.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've been invited to that show, and I always felt a little. Like if I went, I'd be a little bit of a fraud because most of what I do is, sort of big two stuff. So it's like until I have more of an indie book out there, I always would feel weird to take up space at a con like that.
That makes sense. I get it.
Yeah.
And also, isn't the MondoCon there too?
MondoCon is too, and I don't know. I think it's the same situation. They're just waiting out the.
Yeah.
I think MondoCon is really interesting. It's an interesting show.
I know a few people who have done it, and they say it's quite crazy.
It's very art centric. It's very poster centric.
Yeah,
and kind of like prints do really well there. That sort of thing. It's not a comic show.
Yeah, and I know a lot of I know a few artists comic guys who've gone there selling prints and stuff who have said they do better there than they do at normal.
Yeah, I mean, I think
cons.
I think if you have the right kind of stuff, you do really well there.
Exactly.
You know, I don't think you're going to sell, you know, comics or even much in the way of original art. Like people are going to be wanting to buy,
something interesting and unique, like posters.
Yeah, very design oriented, that kind of stuff.
No, I'd love to go there and check it out. I mean, just see the city because I've only ever been to Dallas.
That's a totally different kind of city.
That's what
I've
heard,
been to
right?
Dallas as well. I was at a Dallas convention years ago with Udon. Me and Joe Breens actually, but we had a good friend Bart Tiongson lived out there. And him as well. But totally different. But I heard Austin's like art central. It's like
and you know, I mean, if you want to party a little bit, you know, it's a good party town and it's a college town. So
I don't like the party.
I know you're a bit chaste when it comes to that.
Actually, you know how dry Eric. He didn't even mention drinks tonight. Like usually, it's like, what are we drinking? And today
he's like wringing out his beard of like
he's just like
booze.
Just put it in the stuff.
He's just like, nope, not tonight. No, we're diving straight in.
Oh man. Well, October was a wet month, so I got to make it a dry month almost. Well, we had the Raid Retreat, and then we had the gallery show last weekend, and the Fan Expo. It just kept going. So I was like,
that's true. It's true. It kept going and going.
Yeah, I was just talking to Eric before we came on, and I think the last time I saw you guys was C2E2, was it not?
I think so, man.
Yeah, that was actually the last show I did before we did.
Me too. That was the very last show I did until New York Comic Con this year.
Yeah. So, and how'd you feel going back to that? Like, was it?
It's funny. Like, I was a little nervous. I felt like the reason I went to the New York Con was because I felt like I liked the rules that they had in place.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Even then, though, there were times when I almost felt like kind of panicky. Like we'd be around just a few too many people, and kind of felt like I had to kind of bolt, you know. But it was good seeing people. It was good seeing fans, and it was good to be at a con again.
Yeah.
That was a really nice feeling. There was a lot of people that I was like, didn't realize how much I missed them. You know. Yeah,
that's what I was. I saw Mark Irwin this past week in Toronto because he was up for the show.
Yeah, I love Mark.
Yeah, we went up for and Zach was here as well. And it was actually great just to hang out and have dinner and drinks, and that's actually. I mean, I love doing the show floor, but it's really just seeing all the familiar faces.
The social side at the end.
Well, yeah, because we don't really get that.
Exactly.
I think obviously, I was in a studio once. I know what it's like to kind of have like your gang.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, especially with the pandemic, we're all such cave dwellers at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really nice to actually have that social thing again. Like I've been there. There are a number of people here in Austin, like Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad live here, and Evan Narcissus and Donnie Cates and Megan Hutchinson live here. And there are a number of people that are here, and we're slowly starting to coalesce back into like a social thing, which is kind of cool,
You mentioned Megan. You see behind me, I got her Metallica poster right
there. Oh yeah, so, it's a little too small. I can't really see it, but yeah.
But I picked that up. I picked it up at a Fan Expo a couple of years ago because I saw it across the way from us, and I was like, I need that poster. It's so good. Man.
Yeah, that was she was up for the last show before the pandemic because I think she was getting married right after that show or right before that show. I can't recall.
Yeah. But that's cool, man. Like I know, same for me. Like we're all slowly. The vaccinations definitely helped ease the worry. I keep saying to everybody, like, sure, you can take your mask off when you're in a restaurant, you're eating and stuff with everybody around you and stuff. I said, but it's the best chance you're not going to get it. Everyone's vaccinated.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, now you're going to have little kids getting it, and
exactly.
I'm probably going to be getting my booster next week.
Oh, nice.
Beauty.
Because I'm old.
Yeah, I probably want to get one of those too. Just fucking why not? Let's get her done.
Well, I mean, I understand the argument, as far as like, other countries need it like as quickly as possible, and I think that there's an effort being made to do that. But if it's available and they say I should get it, then I'm going to get it.
Because also, if you don't get it, it's going to go to waste and it's just going to
exactly. It's like this perishable stuff.
Or whatever.
And also, I just think it's in the interest of everybody to be vaccinated.
Oh yeah, especially if you're like us, where we're going to be traveling around too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a hermit otherwise. I mean, I really, and I'm not even kidding. I mean, like, I just don't go anywhere.
The artist's life.
I over last year in the middle of November, I was just like, well, fuck going out and not being able to see people, so I built my own bar in the house.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, there.
There it is. That's cool.
That's sweet, man. Good call, Rob.
Rob's on the job.
Nicely done. Yeah, I love that. I was like, that is fucking dope, man.
Yeah.
That is such a cool poster. So I went over there and bought it.
So, Cully, are you originally from Texas, or were you?
I am not. I grew up in Huntsville, Alabama, which is a kind of a rocket like a rocket center, like for space research and that sort of thing.
Really?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind
So literally, like, everybody in my family is either an aerospace engineer or works for the federal government, except me.
Or comics. Oh no.
You do comics.
I mean, I'm the only one that doesn't work in some capacity for, the government or research or aerospace or something like that.
Does some of your family kind of look at you a little weird, like, do we trust him? Like,
sure.
He's the odd duck.
I think I am the odd duck. I really am. I mean, I think they're pretty used to it at this point, though. They're like, well, I hope so. I guess it's going to work out.
Yeah.
He's not going to be on the street.
Not yet. No,
not yet. Yeah. So when you had, because I think I saw you post about this the other. I think it was you. Because you were, like you were saying earlier, you're part of a studio, and I'm blanking on the title of the studio.
Gaijin Studio.
Yeah, with Stealth Freeze was in it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And was
Adam
Dave Johnson
Hughes.
in that too? Adam Hughes?
Dave Johnson was there. Adam Hughes, Tony Harris.
Yeah.
Joe Phillips.
So
Jason
was that
Pearson.
in?
That was in Atlanta.
That was in Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah. And we had that studio. The roster changed a bit over the years, but we had that studio for 19 years.
Damn.
So
that's impressive. I remember. I mean,
I was there for 18 of those.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. I mean, working up here with ours here, it's like 20 years is the next year anniversary of Red, and I've actually been here the oldest now, like, I think 17 years or something.
That's crazy. I mean,
wow.
What's crazy to me is that I was there for 18 years, and then now we're 10 years beyond that. So it's like the studio ended in I think 11 years past it. I think the studio ended in 2010.
Damn.
So, yeah, that's how old I am.
I know eventually they'll be I'll move on as well. Like, I think things morph and change. It was
Yeah.
But I love the atmosphere.
We had a great run. You
guys did.
I mean, and we were all physically in the same space for that entire time.
That's
awesome.
I remember
sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
I was just saying. I was going to say. I remember discovering a lot of you because of the studio. Because I would buy a book like Red, or I would buy a book like Matador or something, or Who's Covered, and they'd be like, you online you see, or not online, like, or magazines or something, you see names associated and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who's this other guy, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, I miss it. It was a really cool place to work. I mean, and I loved everybody, and a lot of us are still in touch. I mean, some more than others, obviously, but because how relationships kind of ebb and flow. But I think we're all, for the most part, on fairly good terms.
Nice.
That hasn't always been the case. Because as you get a bunch of people in a studio with kind of strong personalities. They're going to be like fights and things like that.
Happen. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But it's good. I mean, I came into the studio about a year after it started, and I stayed till the end.
Damn.
And probably I'd say the most consistent members would have been me and Stelfreeze and Carl Story. You guys know Carl, right?
Yeah, I know his inking work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but Adam was there for like a good probably dozen years. Pearson was there for probably 7 or 8 years. Wow. It's funny because the lineup that everybody thinks of is kind of the lineup the lineup of our studio was really only like the first like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And like Dave was only there for a couple of years. Tony was only there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Joe, it was a shifting lineup. Then we had Georges Genti in there, and we had Laura Martin was with us for a few years, and
same thing happens here. People think, oh, these people are in your studio. I'm like, yeah, they were like 5 years ago, but they've left, and other people have come in, and new faces, and we also have people who don't work in comics as well at Raid too, right? So
we had that also. Like we had an oil painter by the name of Steen Walsh.
Oh wow.
Who was there, 15 years, something like that.
Oh wow.
And she never worked in comics.
Yeah.
Fine painter.
Yeah.
But if you're a comics fan, you would not have heard of her.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. But did you ever having someone like that in the studio? Did you learn from them as an artist?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm telling you, you don't know her work, but she's fucking amazing. She's a fantastic painter. So Steen, which is short for Christine. But if you Google Steen Walsh, you'll probably find paintings for her. Okay. She's dabbled a little bit in comics here and there. She's colored a couple of covers of mine and stuff like that. But mostly she for a long time she ran the studio. I mean, she was like the studio manager also.
Interesting.
But then she got tired of all of our shit and decided to go have like a real life.
That's probably what'll happen to me.
Yeah. Are you like the sort of manager of the place?
Oh yeah. I call myself the official cat herder.
Oh, cool.
That's wicked. Is that her work?
I've never seen that. Is that her?
I don't know. Rob's looking on the internet here.
Probably.
Maybe.
She does a lot of animal portraiture, that sort of thing. She really loves big cats. Like lions and things like that.
Okay.
But she's done lots of stuff. She's done a series of sailboat paintings, like harbors and things like that. Just a lot of really good with color. Yeah, that's her.
Nice.
Yeah. Very cool.
Really cool stuff.
That's cool. That's very cool.
So. Yeah, she's sort of. I always call her like the unsung hero of the studio because she really kept us together for like a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Got a few people commenting here. Someone saying, "Hello, all. Hi, Cully, Diane Woodring."
Oh yeah, how's it going, Diane?
And then C McDonald. Yeah, here you go. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I never seen her work. That's crazy.
Oh, that's really beautiful work.
She and Brian have been a couple for like 30 years. Or 35 years.
Oh, okay.
Like so, Stelfreeze and Steen are a solid couple.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Did not know. Yeah, it's I think every studio needs that.
Adults.
That adult that keeps everything going.
Yeah, to herd the cats, as Ramon always says.
Yeah, she was definitely in a lot of ways the adult.
Before me, it was Chip Zdarsky who kind of founded the studio with Kagan and Cameron and a few other people.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's like after when they leave and you're like, who's taking over? It's like, okay, someone's stepping up, And then,
that when she left, that's what I had to do for a couple of years. I did that for a few years, and then after,
you seem like an adult. That's true.
Well, I can play one effectively if I have to, but and then after I did it, Doug Wagner. Do you know Doug Wagner? Writer.
No.
He did a book called Plastic for Image, and he's doing one now called Vinyl.
Oh, is that going to be on a Kickstarter soon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Doug was in our studio for the last several years, and he was the guy that kind of ran things after me.
He was the adult after you.
Yeah. Doug is definitely an adult, much more of an adult than I am.
We're just children forever, really, at the end of the day.
Pretty much.
Yeah. What's that?
I should draw something. What should I draw? Anybody have any suggestions?
Reach out to the world out there in the internet land.
Anybody out there in the world have an idea?
Sarah, Diane, C. McDonald. Oh yeah, I just saw that. I think it's coming out through 12 gauge. I think.
Yeah, 12 gauge.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to that hitting the Kickstarter. It actually might even be live right now. I'm not sure.
I think it might have just gone live.
What are you drawing, Ramon? First of all,
this is for
and why?
So this is for last week. We debuted our cover for Raid 4, and this is going to be some inside art for the book, basically, just to kind of embellish the interior of the book.
Nice.
And so this is the creature that Scott drew for the cover, coming out of the former bot. So, like, if you have, remember our former buddy, this guy, on the inside had some brains and stuff. So in my mental narrative, this is what's the brains have become.
That was Tonchi's design.
Yeah, Tonchi did that design. Back in
we gotta request Beetle and Booster.
Beetle and Booster.
Both of them?
He had 2 hours, man.
Well, Beetle was first, and then Booster came second. So.
Oh, okay. You're the one that liked it. Not many people did.
The joy of designing a character and redesigning a character.
The joy of designing dozens of characters and trying not to repeat yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
No good deed goes unpunished when you're doing that.
What is? I mean, and you've done quite many. What is your favorite character design
that I've done?
That you've.
I mean, I think hands down, Blue Beetle's got to be the one that everybody knows. You know,
I knew you're one of the reasons I picked up that book, the unique reinterpretation of that.
Yeah, that's had legs.
Yeah.
Diane is like the biggest Renee Montoya fan in the world. I've done lots of stuff for Diane. But yeah, I mean, that's probably the one like that people come up to me and talk to me about the most. And when I did the New 52 stuff, it was directly because of how much they thought that the Blue Beetle stuff was successful as a design. So, and you know, I mean, I designed that character in 2006 or something like that, and it's still around. There's about to be a movie, so it's like
with that costume.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They announced it, or they showed the costume in during DC Fandom.
Oh wow! I have to check that out. I didn't know that. Yeah. That's cool. How does that feel to have it like realized visually? Like
kind of crazy, you know. I mean, like I did that book like literally 15 years ago, so it's interesting. And the guy that is playing the part is the guy from Cobra Kai, the main kid from Cobra Kai.
Oh no way! Right on.
Yeah, and he's like perfect. He's like genetically perfect to play that character. You know.
Nice.
Cobra Kai is great, by the way. Can we just say
I love Cobra Kai, actually.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's the. I mean, you know, it's pretty faithful.
Yeah, no, 100%. It'd be cool to see, especially now with CG, they can make all that work so nicely.
Yeah, there doesn't even need to be a person in there. You know?
No, that's true.
Yeah. I'll do a Blue Beetle.
Oh shit.
Oh snap! There we go.
I like it. What are you currently working on that you can talk about, Cody?
Well, I mean, you know, I am working on something that I can't talk about. I just finished. I just had a issue of Blue and Gold come out. Which, speaking of like Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, and that came out like I don't know, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that. So I just did that. I've got a bunch of covers I'm doing. I just finished a run of Batman covers for Batman Reptilian. I've got like a Wonder Woman cover coming up. I got a Nightwing cover coming up.
So are you doing more cover work than interior work these days, or?
You know, oddly, yes. And I don't know how this happened. Like there was like a stretch there where it just seemed like that was all anybody was asking me to do, and I consider it like the weakest part of my repertoire. Really, is covers. Like, because I think I'm a much better storyteller than I am, you know, doing single illustrations or cover work. You know, I never feel like my compositions are all that interesting. But for some reason, it's like that's just something that people have been asking me to do a lot. So yeah, it's like I've been doing a lot of that. But also the thing that I'm doing right now is a personal project, and it's unannounced. Nice. And I'm kind of leaning into the covers just so I can sort of stay on people's radar a little bit while I'm doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. They're easier to work in than a sequential book, which, like, I love doing sequentials, but they take up so much mental bandwidth because.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know,
But the cool thing about this project is since there's no, I mean, there's an editor, but it's not. It doesn't have to fit into anybody's publishing plan. It's like a completely personal kind of a project, so I don't really have to worry about like making it fit within a universe or anything like that.
Awesome.
So it's like it's the bandwidth is different.
Yeah.
But the fear level is also different.
Yeah, I bet.
Ha! Scott Hepburn. Yeah, how about those MODOK covers? Right? Yeah, those were fun. Those were a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun on those. It was a great looking book, by the way.
Yeah, Scott killed it on that book. He just finished a digital run on Marvel's digital. I guess I'm not sure what they're calling it, Marvel Unlimited Digital or something, but
Oh yeah.
some awesome Carnage, all with Infinite Scroll. You know what comics are going to be. You know all this print stuff we're doing. That's kidding.
I mean, I don't know that print will ever go away, but we're certainly having
it
some
won't.
paper troubles, right? I mean,
yeah, price of paper is going up too, and
yeah.
It's interesting. Like all this, it's a weird kind of. I don't like. I'm curious if it's pandemic related because I've seen some people say it's not, but then
I think it is. I think it has to be. I mean,
it has to be.
I mean, I think that you've got supply chain troubles. You've got. It's not just that there's a shortage of paper. It's it's hard getting paper to people.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah.
But I also think people are buying more books. I think they're reading more.
Yeah.
And I think that you've got a situation where, if there is a shortage, it's because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that. Like, because it's not like some trees suddenly stopped growing during the pandemic. They kept going.
The trees stopped growing.
The COVID got the trees, but
no.
What are you drawing, Eric? What's this?
There's one dude I know. Oh, Sheldon Carter. Oh my God. He is as he timed it with the link to his Kickstarter, which started last week and successfully funded, which is great.
Yeah, we're at 350% on that right now.
Wow.
So that's amazing.
First fantasy novel, so I'm very excited for him. But and part of my friendship contribution is that I wanted to do some art for him, so I offered to do some pinups, and was informed today that the one is turned into 3. So
you're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm like, oh, where did that come from? Because I wasn't expecting that. So so now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do 3.
But I think he was talking that they would be just headshots. I think not necessarily.
Nope. No, they were bust shots, full like.
Oh, okay, well, when I talked to him, it was like bust, like up from like mid rib cage up, not waistline, but.
Yeah, well. Anyway, so
the more work you want to do, the better.
That's basically Ramon and Sheldon got together and planned how can we make Eric super busy without him knowing. So, anyway,
well, you seem like you had less on your plate lately, right? So,
sure.
I was just like, Eric doesn't look like very busy now. He's done his story for Raid 4. Like, he must have a lot of time on his hands. So yeah. And I'm glad we were right.
Yeah. So that's what I'm working on.
But you have a particular, like he said, you're going to be doing it in your Pex art style. Is it Pex? Am I getting that right?
The Prex card.
Prex card.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
So the Warframe, well, they're like, it's the Warframe name for like basically like a tarot card. I don't know. Rob could probably dig him up on my Instagram. He's got to scroll a little bit, but I did these kind of tarot-looking cards for the video game. They're based on the Warframes, and I really like the Alfonso Mucha-esque kind of Art Nouveau card stuff, and so I'm always trying to rip that shit. So I applied it to a set of Warframe. The Warframes. There's like 50 of them. Yeah, there we go. There's.
That's beautiful, dude.
There's one.
Oh wow!
So
that's gorgeous.
There's a bunch of them I've done. I think 15. So, and this is the very first one actually. So they've kind of mutated and changed a little bit. Some got much more detail. Some got less and stuff. But So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do for.
So you're doing 3 of these for Sheldon. You're a good friend.
Well, I was doing 1 of these, so I'm now sketching 3 to see if I can possibly do it somehow. So
you could do it like a little bust shot, just no arms.
Sure.
It's easy. Yeah, you got this, buddy.
Yeah, there you go.
What is this?
So, I don't know. There's always fans doing interpretations. So that's mine on the left. I don't know. I didn't draw that one on the right.
I'm curious about the MO on the one on the right, because you got like a nice little cutoff shirt, some solid abs, but then something happens. Just it goes. I don't know what's going on, but it's interesting.
I thought JoJo Bizarre-esque styling.
Amazing.
But I really enjoy doing those things. DE's been great that they let me handle all those. They take me a long time, so I overdo the detail. But I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Maybe that's my thing that I leave my mark on that game, where they're like, oh, you were the one that did that. That's cool. I don't know. Or maybe they hate it. But
has Warframe ever offered any physical versions of these for fans?
Yeah. I've got some here.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Falcone.
Mr.
Hey.
Himself.
Why is that guy here?
I don't know. He only shows up once in a while. Causes trouble when he does.
Yeah. I thought I smelled something.
They handed some of these cards out, so I've got some here. So
those are sweet, dude. Those are awesome.
Yeah, so
nice.
Like these tarot cards, right? So.
Oh wow,
cool. There's another one. They kind of got a little sheen on them and stuff, and then there's just a little back design.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Very cool.
And there's that other one you guys saw. They only printed 3 of those out for people in the studio, and then I think they gave it away to certain what's the word? People that push your stuff online, like
influencers.
Influencers, yeah. I think they got, and then probably just some other publishers or companies, but as little gifts and stuff. So, and actually, another thing I've got to do was like skateboard artwork, which has been done in that 80s style kind of skateboard art. I'm sorry, I'm just talking about myself here all the whole time here, but anyway.
Yeah, we're pretty bored with it.
I was gonna say, I'm getting bored, so I'm like, if I'm getting bored, they're probably way past listening to me.
We're done with it.
Oh yeah, there's the 3 cards there. But I did yeah. Anyway, that's the long-winded story. Just saying, I'm doing more work than I thought I was. So,
well, yeah. I'm sure Sheldon appreciates it to no end.
Yeah,
you should complain about.
I know.
Wow, sassy comments from production.
Production's getting on my case now too. Fuck. Yeah. Anyways, indeed.
Actually, Cully, do you do a lot of work outside of comics, like for video game or animation or?
No.
Oh no.
I do on occasion, and every time I do it, it reminds me why I don't do it.
Why you don't do it?
I mean, honestly, it's just I find the process of most of those kinds of situations just so frustrating. There's a lot of doing things over and over and over again for no reason.
True. Yeah, that's true.
And it's one of those things where for me, I mean, this is just my experience. When I get those kind of offers, and I go, wow, that's a lot of money. And then I take the job, and I'm like, the time that I'm spending on this means that I'm not actually making that much money.
Yeah.
And I find that in comics, I'm a lot more allowed to kind of just do what I do.
Yeah. No, so I agree with that. There's a lot more freedom.
I feel like I can do commercial art, but it's not really my. I can do it, but I'd rather be doing interiors on comics. And covers. I like doing covers. Even though I don't think of it as kind of my main skill set,
Yeah. Actually, to answer Scott's question, I'm drawing your creation, Scott, for a little insert drawing in Raid 4. Just to.
Oh, that's from that cover. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, that's the cover we had last week.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Yeah, Scott did that, and I'm just taking that character and playing with him for inside the glossary, basically, just to kind of add a little bit of spot art to the book.
Yeah, it's gonna look great, man.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a great book. We have some great talent in that book this year, and looking forward to getting it out to people.
I hope we can see Cully in person sometime soon, like at a raid retreat or some shit.
He'd love to fly up from warm Austin, Texas to the freezing cold of Canada.
No, I mean, look, we've talked about it. I would totally love to. You guys have talked to me about this, and I would love to just kind of hang out at a retreat with you guys.
Yeah, I think once things become easier for us to cross the border back and forth, I think it's a definite possibility for sure. Like, we'd love to, and I think we've talked about this before. Like, I know I've talked with Jason, our agent and stuff, where we want to do like art shows showcasing a lot of the guys from Essential and have you guys up to do like talks about your art and different things like that. Just to,
there are also galleries here in Austin that would love something like that.
Oh yeah, cool.
To like have a bunch of like sort of named comic book artists come.
Yeah, we just kind of want to like. I mean, Toronto doesn't really have any. I mean, they had one very small one for a while, run by Kevin, who was part of the Informa Fan Expo team. He had a small gallery for a while,
right?
But now we have nothing, so we were just like, you know what? We have some street front here at Raid,
that's so
and we want to kind of showcase as much of the talent pool, like comics, like talent pool, as much as we can, like internationally. And COVID kind of hampered that a little bit, but we're hoping in the next little bit to kind of just have people up and kind of just introduce the general public to what comic book art is, instead of just, unless you go to a con, you don't really see it, right?
Yeah, and the space is so dope. I mean, you got to see the new studio.
I mean, I've seen pictures. I saw pictures when you were moving in.
Oh, that was a hot mess.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you could see the potential of it. And it was
totally.
No, it's been great. It's been a tough year with the move and the pandemic and stuff, but a lot of awesome people came into the space too, just to, new members over that time, strangely.
Yeah.
Which was great, just to meet.
Well, we had a successful Dracula Visions. I feel that party. That was fun.
I think no thanks to you. You drank most of the bar. And contributed to our sales.
Wow. I'm just trying to help the studio.
It's like, you're welcome.
How does that help the studio?
I paid my tab.
I know. I'm just joking.
Gotta make sure you guys, that. Well, I want people to get an idea of like what could be and what could happen in that space. So I'm like, this is how much fun you actually can have here. So, I was helping Silvio behind the bar, and then Mark and I were drinking tequila shots there.
Yeah.
So he's gonna go back with a lot of cool stories.
No, it's true.
I
think you destroyed poor Silvio though. He was just like, that Eric guy, he's unstoppable.
He kept saying, "You're the devil, man. You're the devil." I'm like, no. Just have another shot.
Yeah, you're like, shh. Just another
Left
shot.
Off, more drink. I like to have good times.
Oh man.
No matter who objects.
Exactly. It's like, don't worry. You'll be fine.
So how do you usually start your drawings there, Cully? What's your process here? I'm watching you.
I don't know. It depends on like sort of what, like if I'm doing a cover, usually I'll just do like a little thumbnail, like, postage stamp size or something, just to get the broad strokes of a composition down. Usually through tears.
Yeah.
Usually through tears.
Yeah.
Lots of tears.
And then I'll usually do something like quarter size just for approval's sake. Mm-hmm. And depending on how I feel, sometimes that's in color, sometimes it's just, something in total black and white or whatever. If I have like a really strong idea of what the colors are going to be, like the cover I'm actually doing today, I did a full color sketch because I just knew exactly what the colors were going to be. What the lighting was going to be and everything. So I did that, and that's always cool. Like actually, the first Mondo or MODOK cover that I did for Scott's book, that was an idea that literally came to me 100% all at once.
Okay.
So like if you look at the sketch for that, which I've tweeted, it is so close to what I actually ended up doing.
Oh, nice.
that it's I don't even know why I even did a sketch, frankly.
It's actually great when a cover works out that sweetly, or an image for that matter, because I know it's often a struggle to get it out from here to put it on the page.
Yeah,
and
I mean, a lot of covers, it's like I'm figuring it out as I'm going.
Yeah, I do that a lot with my color when I work on when I do covers. The color, it's either I have it like you just said, a very distinct impression, or it's like I'm on the fly just figuring it out as I go.
Yeah,
playing with levels and different aspects or whatever, right?
Yeah,
which I think is also fun in its own right.
Me too. All right, I got a pen here.
So you just got a pencil going and you switch it.
Yeah, I just got like a rough kind of a pencil and I just start inking this. So I mean, it's all there.
Have you ever dabbled in digital work, or is that something that doesn't?
I mean, I do. I mean, part of my process for like interiors is digital in the sense that when I'm kind of in the layout stage, usually my backgrounds are digital.
Okay.
Like I'll build models and things like that.
Oh shit! Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, like I call it kit bashing because it's a concept of like what people used to do with physical models, like for film and stuff like that, when they have to build a spaceship or something. They take like a World War II plane and they'll take a dump truck model and they'll just take parts from everything and build something. So a lot of times when I build, I use SketchUp most of the time. When I build something in SketchUp, a lot of times I'm just taking pieces of other models and configuring them in such a way. But if it's something that if I'm doing like multiple issues of something and I have to have like a very specific like a secret base or something like that, I'll build what I need for the issue. But then as I go along, I'll start adding to the model. And you're actually building a set essentially is what you're building. And I'll remove walls and it's very much like the same concept of working on a physical set.
I'll have to pick your brain about that sometime because it's something I've always. Well, we had a guy on here a couple weeks ago, and Mike Roberts, and it was a friend of Eric's, but a great animator, and he does a bit of the same thing. He does a lot of kit bashing, but we talked about. I've always wanted to create, like whether it's SketchUp or whether it's there's so many other programs now that you can use.
Yeah, I use SketchUp just for familiarity's sake. I know how to use it, so it's like second nature at this point.
Yeah,
so.
But I've always wanted to do that, like a spaceship or like a base, because if you're going to draw it a billion times.
I mean, a lot of times it's like, if I got to build like, here's the engine room of the starship or whatever. Okay, here's the core of the whatever, and it'll be like, a pot light or something, like an interesting looking model of a pot light, and I'll do that and I'll start building things around it, and I'll use this hubcap for the floor, and
that's cool,
you know what I mean?
Man. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter how big it is, because in relative terms, it's all going to be. Yeah,
because you can resize it and do whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
It's like, I mean, a lot of times, or I'll, if I've got to have a bar, like a character's hanging out in a bar, and I can only find like a set for. A shoe store, but I can find pieces of a bar. Well, I'll take everything out of the shoe store and I'll shove everything in there to make it look like a bar, and that sort of thing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that.
That's wicked. No, I definitely want to try that a little bit because I did that. It was funny because I did that when we moved from our first studio space to our second. I actually built the floor plan in SketchUp.
I do that every time I move. I've done that like the last 3 times I've moved.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'll build it.
Because you could also a lot of I know you could get like anything at IKEA, for example.
Oh yeah,
you can find in SketchUp, so you can actually literally furnish your place and figure it out.
When we moved into this house that we're in 8 years ago, that was the first thing I did was I got the floor plan and it had the measurements on it, and I literally just laid the floor plan down in Photoshop and started building walls and like placing furniture and the floor plan was literally the floor of the model that I made.
That's awesome.
And we didn't have to think of where to put anything when we got here. It's
you had it all figured out.
It's all figured out,
Yeah, it's amazing how well it works, especially when the measurements are accurate. You're just like, yep.
Yeah.
Just like the model.
I haven't done that, but I tend to always do a floor plan of every room in my house where I'm like, how am I going to lay everything out? It's like a top-down floor plan. And I just measure and plan things, and then I'm like, yeah, and then I do this. I'm an insane person, but I love doing it.
So when you're like doing some sort of an illustration or something that requires like a sense of place, do you ever like sort of draw a floor plan for yourself?
Oh yeah, I'll design.
Because I do that all the time,
like world building stuff.
Yeah.
And then I never actually do the actual work.
Yeah. For your current comic online, you did like a whole boat schematic, didn't you? For
This whole like I tried to kind of design because there's this boat that the Ile Saran that the characters are traveling on, and I'm like, well, they go under the deck and they kind of sleep under there, and it's kind of a bare bones ship, but I wanted to have it designed so that for any situation, I can just look at it and go, oh yeah, that's how that looks. But ideally, the smart thing is build it in 3D, and then you can just flip it around and trace it for any shot you want, right? So,
that's the hope if you can pull that off. Yeah.
But I enjoy doing. I mean, that's a lot of the stuff that we do for our job too, right? We have to do it for Digital Extreme. Some content, right? It's like we're always designing things, and you got to kind of explain it to people. Because there's your wild idea that you're drawing, and then it's like, well, this is how it might work, and this is how you just naturally you can't help but imagine a character running through the space, so you can kind of doing a lot of different things at the same time. So
I mean I find it's useful for fight scenes also.
Yeah,
if you've got to stage something in a particular environment, it helps to know where everything is in that environment.
No, for sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's so many comics I've seen where you're like, this room looks 20 times bigger than it actually should be, or you can tell the artist hasn't planned it out. Where
what's funny is I think a lot of times fans don't care.
No, they don't. It's mostly us, I think, that notice it.
I know it. I mean, it has to work for me also. So it's like, yeah,
exactly. Like, if they're coming in through this window, they'll see this door, and it's that unseen stuff that the reader will probably never catch unless they're like diving really deep into it or something.
I always feel like it's subliminal. It's like one of those things where you just want them to know on a visceral level that this could be real.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Because the more you have planned out, also it just adds more credence to the reality of it. Like you sell the idea better, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I believe in it, then I think I'm selling it better to the reader.
Yeah. No, totally. I totally agree with that.
Ramon, you're saying you went and saw that Bond movie. What was it called again?
No Time to Die?
I've had no time to see it.
No Time to Die, Dr. Bond. Yeah.
I've had no time to see it. So just so you know, I've not seen the movie.
This is the first movie I've seen in well, actually, we've seen a few movies here. We discovered a good side effect of the pandemic and limited capacity in the city was that you could rent a whole theater.
I've heard that.
$250.
Yeah.
So if 20 of us went, or 15, it was like almost like buying a ticket, but we had the whole theater to ourselves. So
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, we actually did that for a while here at the studio.
You could be naked.
We could be. I don't know if they'd like that. The hot buttered popcorn could be dangerous, but
right. The seats might be a little loud.
$250 Canadian to specify, Rob. Like, so even cheaper American is what he's saying.
I like how he had to put that in there.
Yeah.
That's great. Canadian guys. Slow
it. But but actually now as of this past week, everything's full capacity again. So
yeah. How do you feel about that?
You know what? We went to the movie. I was fine with it. Like when I went to dinner over the weekend as well. With Steph and I went to a steakhouse. It was bumping. The whole place was full. It doesn't bother me. Like I have for that kind of a scenario, I have very little kind of PTSD from the pandemic.
Yeah.
I think I would be wary going into a nightclub where you're bumping and grinding and people are sweating and like it's packed.
Right.
That would still to me be uncomfortable, right? But the restaurants are still doing their best to kind of give everybody their own space and and obviously everybody going into these spaces is having their vaccination certificates checked.
Yeah.
Temperatures are being, so like there's a lot of precaution going on. So at one point you just have to have faith in the system that it's gonna work. Unfortunately, and
dude, I'm in America. Okay, faith in the system. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I mean it's just like you.
And I'm in Texas.
Yeah. This is true. This is true. But yeah, like I would love to, because I look forward to the day where we don't have to worry about it. So I know it's going to be baby steps. But
one good thing I think has been interesting is that I haven't had a cold in like 2 years.
Oh my god!
Yeah, no, I know.
Which is like I routinely would get a cold like 2-3 times a year, especially going to cons.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And it's like, wow, I have not actually had anything more than allergies for like 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, we went and saw The Last Duel.
The Last Duel? What's that?
Matt Damon. And
Duel, not Ghoul.
I'm like, what is this Halloween movie? The Last Duel.
The Last Duel. No, we went and that really wanted to see.
How was that, by the way?
Great.
Yeah.
She's a big fan of Ridley Scott, and so am I. And he hasn't hit them all out of the park, of course, but
who has?
Yeah, but and I had my hesitations with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, although I do like them individually. Together,
not together.
Like, they're good pals. Yeah, there you go. Last Duel. Yeah, I was.
So how was it?
Yeah, I was quite pleased with it. I was like, it's beautifully done, and the costume and set designs and everything. And I kind of was going in, we'll see how this goes. But yeah, it was really well done. All the characters all the acting is pretty top notch. I had my doubts with Damon and Affleck, but they pulled it off, and I was actually quite surprised at how much I enjoyed watching Ben Affleck act.
You seem to have quite the issue with these guys.
Well, I remember seeing him in like Mallrats and stuff, and I'm like,
by the way,
that's like 30 years old.
I worked on Mallrats.
No way. That's funny.
Yeah, if you watch the opening credits, where they have all those comic book covers, I did.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I actually love Mallrats. I actually think that holds up better than Clerks and a few of the other.
I am not a fan of Clerks, I have to say.
I'm the same. Like, it never really grabbed me as much as some of the other stuff.
No, I thought Mallrats is great. He always kind of bothered me. He's kind of a cheesy looking dude, but then because they were in Good Will Hunting, which I also liked. So I don't know what my deal is. I was just like, I don't know.
Why do you hate these guys?
I don't hate those guys. And he did a great job with Batman, I thought, and I was like, all right. I guess he's fine.
You're just very particular.
Yeah, I know, because I'm a clown. That's why.
You're like, I don't like his looks. His looks bother me.
The cut of his jib.
He's perfect. But anyway, yes, thanks, Scott.
There's a little bit of J-Lo jealousy going on. Somebody just said Matt Damon.
Not in Mallrats.
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe he is. We don't really know, do we? He might be in that movie.
It's true.
You don't know.
He's in Thor Ragnarok.
There you go.
Oh, that's right. He is. I forgot about that.
That's funny. Yeah, that is funny that he's in there. But they did a great job, and Julie Comer, is that her name? Jodie Comer.
Somebody else you hate?
Killing Eve girl.
Killing Eve girl.
Oh, she's awesome. She's so awesome.
Let's check it out. I mean, I'm loving going back to the movies because after 2 years of only seeing things on the small screen, certain movies just deserve to be seen on the big screen. And
I am really looking forward to seeing this Bond movie.
Yeah, the next one up I want to go see is Dune. Like that one, I feel is just going to be.
Yeah, I will admit that I watched that on HBO Max.
Oh, it's available at HBO Max. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's this
person,
Rob? Is this our next guest?
Yeah, she's great, man. She did a great job in the film as well.
Okay.
And then Adam Driver's in it, who's fucking awesome always.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I was quite impressed. I didn't know what to expect, and I came out of there, and I was really impressed with it. And then I think we're definitely going to go see Dune next.
I have a friend who gets visibly angry if you don't like Adam Driver.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, she takes great
personally. That's awesome.
If you don't like Adam Driver,
it's like, how dare you?
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to hear it.
I think he's a solid actor.
Oh yeah, he's a great actor.
Hey, his Star Wars was fucking awesome, man. He was so cool.
Isn't he also he was also in the military before this too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He has an interesting life story as well. He went into acting after being in a lot of military.
I think he was a Marine.
Something like that.
Mistaken.
Yeah,
I think
something
he's
like
actually
that. Yeah.
a Marine.
Yeah. So this guy, he knows his shit basically. So it's
yeah.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. So
nice.
And then when we left the theater, I ran into Sheldon and said, "I'm going to see Dune." I was like, "Oh, okay." And
that's funny.
I can't wait to see that. That's next.
Yeah, that looks gorgeous. I love Villeneuve's work and.
Same.
Yeah. Rob's just got the photos.
Wow, look at him there.
Good to see his ears held up throughout the whole.
Wow, his ears can hold up a lot.
Damn.
Woo.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
It's funny, if you're a draw
Almost
character.
like he had to get into acting.
Yeah, I know, right? He's too unique.
What were you saying, Ramon?
I was gonna say, if you drew a character like that, people would be like, "Nah, no one's ears are really that big."
No one looks like that.
kind of a caricature, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's like I could see from Mad Magazine or something . I don't know.
Alfred E. Newman.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Actually, is that something you've ever done, Cully? Is humor work, or
Here and
satire?
there.
Yeah.
Well, my first job as an artist was I worked in a caricature studio, which was not it wasn't the kind of thing where you're at a park or something doing live caricatures. Although we did some of that kind of party stuff.
Yeah.
It was more it was a commercial art studio, and one of the things they offered was what they called custom caricatures or sort of executive gifts,
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody was retiring or somebody had a going away party or whatever, they would pay us $125 and we would do like a watercolored, like a Jack Davis-y kind of caricature of someone, like a 15 by 20 kind of piece. So my first job was doing caricature type stuff.
Yeah.
But over the years, I've done I remember DC used to do these kind of big book of big book of scandals, big book of UFOs.
Yeah,
that
I remember those. Yeah,
and I did one called Big Book of Scandals, and I did I was some politician that got caught with a stripper or something, and that was in a highly kind of a caricature style.
Yeah,
I've always liked doing caricatures. I do them for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really ever do them for work because I'm not really ever asked to. But I try to sort of maintain that skill set.
Mm-hmm. That's it's funny that you mentioned the retirement portraits because that was actually one of my original jobs, freelance jobs when I first started freelancing. Was I did the retirement portraits for Purina Cat Chow employees.
Oh no way!
Yeah, and they were a lot of fun. I made a good penny, and it was always an interesting challenge to do these. I did the same thing. They were ink and watercolor pieces.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and the guy that I worked for actually for a time, I'm not sure if he actually, I'm sure somebody broke it at some point, but he at least for a time had the Guinness Book of World Records record for speed caricatures.
Oh wow!
He could do 2 a minute.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and they were good. That's the other thing is they were good.
That's amazing.
A guy by the name of Don Howard who worked for he started at Disney back in the early 70s.
Yeah.
And he was like a character designer, a background guy. And then he left that job and somehow I found him in my hometown. He offered a class or something. A continuing ed class at a local university. And I signed up for his class, and I was the only person under there was me and one other guy that were under 60. Everybody else was like a retiree, with free time and kind of let me learn how to do this caricature thing,
Finally,
finally, yeah.
It was me and this one other guy, and we were both I think I was I don't know, 19 or something like that, and the other guy was 21 or 22, and he yanked us out of class, and he was like, I need assistance,
Oh, okay.
And I was like, sign me up, and and because I was working in a pet store at the time, and the other guy ended up having a career in video games, but he never came back. So it was just me. Mm-hmm. So it's just me working for Don the whole time. And I ended up working for Don for probably about, I don't know, 2 years, something like that. Mm-hmm. And as I started, I was sweeping up and getting coffee, and he was showing me things. But by the time I left, I was handling like the entire jobs, and then he would come in and sign his name to it. So, and then I went straight from there to basically working for DC.
Oh wow, that's Did any of the retirement portraits make it into the portfolio for DC?
No, because I knew what a portfolio for comics needed to look like, and it wasn't like.
I'm just kidding.
That was it was not relevant. So it's like, sequential stuff obviously. is what people need to see. So
and someone asked earlier, it was for the humans, not the cats. The retirement portraits I did.
Right. There were animals. There were animals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did some animal portraits I've done baby portraits. It's amazing what you pull off as an artist to just make ends meet at the when you're starting out. Basically,
I was making like $100 a week.
Oh wow.
I still live with my parents, so it's like I think by the time I left there, I was making like 150. I think I'd gotten a raise to $150 a week.
Damn.
So.
Jeez, man, that's nothing.
Oh, I know. I remember one of my earliest jobs, I worked demolition for like demolishing old buildings for scrap. And I got paid $2 an hour. That was like and it was just like no safety, no nothing. I was just like, but money was money, and at the end of the day,
money was money.
$2 an hour. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, I think minimum wage back then was $3 or $3.50. So they were
that's right.
They were paying under minimum wage, but it was also under the table, right? So you weren't claiming it.
I think that minimum wage before I broke into comics was something like $3.35 or something like that, and I was working at a pet store, like I said, and we worked on commission. So basically, you got your hourly wage or your commission, whichever was higher.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And, it was just one of those kind of like pet stores that kind of later, got kind of tagged as, working with puppy mills and stuff like that. Although I never really, like our store never really bought from puppy mills. It still got tagged with that same thing. So it's like, it was what it was, but
some seedy jobs you've had, Cully. Seedy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I tell you, it's like my first job was working in a grocery store. Mm-hmm. My second job was working in a pet store, and my third job was as an artist. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I did the demolition work was very like one-off, but I think mine were. I worked as a pizza chef for like maybe 6 months. And a gas station attendant for like a year. That was like the only two real.
I bet you were great at it.
Yeah, I was great. Really good at that. I was like great at the flipping in the air and getting the right size. Yeah.
You're an artist, man.
Quite
you had
fun.
That eye.
What about you, Eric? What was your weird
stripper?
I worked at a donut diner.
Donut diner.
And then like at the midnight shift, which is awful.
Like, were you making the donuts, or
no? I was just there, like, just the clerk kind of thing, and then I had to go and clean up all the toilets and shit. I was all by myself too, like fuck this shit. But and then I got into like Zayre's doing like the grocery like stocking shelves and shit, and then I went to Sheridan College and then got into animation, and then
Did you have a bad attitude?
I fucking had a terrible attitude, buddy.
I think that's why a lot of us just go into like freelance. Because I remember when I was in right after graduating, my dad at one point was like, "You got to get a job," because like I hadn't gotten any freelance work yet. I was just doing odd jobs, here and there, just to make money. And I remember just going to like trying to like go like the traditional route of just handing in resumes to places, which I just did not.
Oh fuck!
Like any job I actually had, like the pizza chef was. I saw a sign in a window. I walked in, and I got hired like on the spot.
Yeah.
And the gas station job was like my buddy who was like an Italian guy knew this Italian guy who owned a car wash, and they were like looking for somebody. I was like, what about me? He's like, I'll talk to the boss. We'll see what we can get you, you know? So like the actual traditional route of handing in resumes and stuff, I was just never very good at. Never going to this office supply chain here in Canada called Grand and Toy, and they were like, I had a big interview with them, and they're like, "Oh, you're an artist. Like, where do you see yourself at Grand and Toy in like say 5 years?" And I was like, "Well, I don't see myself at Grand and Toy in 5 years." I was like, I clearly didn't get the job.
And they're like, "Oh, he sucks."
Yeah. Like, you're not a nowhere. You're not a team player. Get out of here.
Still amount to nothing.
Yeah.
when I worked at the grocery store, I remember that the manager, store manager, wanted to move me up into management. Mm-hmm. But this required a haircut, and I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm good." and I actually told him, because he was basically, I remember him telling me straight up that, my art career would never amount to anything.
Oh my God, really?
And which I got a number of times over my youth.
Yeah, youth.
But I was just like, I remember telling him, I said, if I do that, I'm gonna get real comfortable here, and I'll never do this art thing. So. Yeah. I think I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
And I remember he actually threatened me. He was like, I can make it very uncomfortable for you to work here. And I was like, well, I can make it so that I don't work here at all. I'm very happy to do that.
That's the grocery store threat. I can make it very uncomfortable for you to work.
Yeah. I'm like, I didn't understand what the fuck he was talking about.
You're going to be in the freezer section all week, boy. It's like,
it was dangerous work. I mean, just a couple of years later, he got stabbed, that guy.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
So, I mean, it was a good call for me not to go into grocery store management, I think.
Oh, fuck. That's hilarious.
Don't go into grocery store management because you get stabbed.
The dangers of stocking shelves.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen.
That's fucking.
He thought he was so smart, but got stabbed.
Oh,
got stabbed.
That's what happens.
Grocery stores in Alabama, you get stabbed if you don't have fresh eggs.
They're very stabby in Alabama.
Oh, fuck. That's hilarious.
How's that progress coming along there? What do you got there, Ramon?
That's how Cully's got it, man. Yeah. I'm just kind of inking this. That's right about Cully's.
No. I've never stabbed a man. No, Marcus, you're right. He was an asshole.
Marcus.
Oh, hey, Marcus is here too, because he was an asshole. He deserved it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say he had it coming, but I'm not going to deny it either.
You're like, haircut, eh? Stab.
Yeah. Yeah. So you like cutting, do you?
Oh, fuck.
And of course, the big joke is that, now I just don't even need a haircut.
That's right. I've seen those photos of you with the golden, the red locks.
Yeah.
Down to your shoulders.
Back in my,
your youth.
White snake days.
Actually, being in Austin, I mean, jumping on a tangent here, like, Austin's a big music city, isn't it?
It is.
Like, do you, like, explore that kind of aspect?
Not as much as I should. I mean, if somebody I like comes through, but, I've got really odd, old guy taste anyway, and not very hipster.
What's your favorite old guy taste?
Well, I mean, look, I'm a classic rock guy. I'm a jazz guy. I like that kind of stuff. And there's just not that many places to see jazz or, guitar based, kind of heavier music like I like.
Even in Austin, you don't have like jazz stuff there. Or?
I mean, it's harder to come across.
Right.
Next time you're in the city here in Toronto, we have a few jazz clubs here, which are pretty great.
Dude,
yeah,
sign me up. Take me.
Oh, Ramon, I would go, man. I fucking love jazz, man.
Well, next time you're in town too.
I'm trying to get my hands on as many like trumpet jazz. I love the trumpet over the.
You want to talk jazz? Get Howard Chaykin on the show.
Oh shit, that'd be fun.
His jazz collection at home was like fucking amazing.
Yeah, I have a very small one. Like I like Miles and your classics and a couple of I'm terrible with names. My girlfriend always makes fun of me. She's like, "You don't remember anything." I'm like,
You're like, who are you?
Some guy, exactly. Who are you?
Yeah, that's true, Marcus. Cully's probably in Toronto as much as I am.
Right. Yeah.
We'll
have to change that, Eric. Come on.
I know. Well, Well, fuck. We keep talking about Sheldon, like, oh, we gotta go once a month, and maybe we'll do it.
Now you're able to. Capacities are lifted. You got vaccinations.
Yeah. You slept in your kitchen.
You got no excuse. We will.
You slept in your kitchen.
You slept in your kitchen. Pretty soon there'll be an extra spare bedroom in the Borden suites of Toronto. So
same times. It's Shea Perez.
Shea Perez.
That's looking good, Ramon.
Well, thanks. I'm just having fun with it. Get to draw. It's rare that I get to draw weird, crazy stuff these days. So it's
right, Rob. Late night underwear party. We didn't do it this time.
It's
too late.
Everybody passed out.
I've passed out.
Yeah.
Ramon, what are you working on these days?
Photo either.
For me, it's my ongoing monthly book is Stillwater, which I'm just working on the last issue of our current arc, and then we'll be relaunching the third arc later next year. Give me a little bit of a breather room. Cool. It's just like I'm used to doing a monthly book. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's like no matter what, it's just like it's so hard to keep up. Especially with dense scripts and multiple characters and like.
Well, and and I hate to keep banging the age drum, but it just doesn't get easier as you get older.
No, it's like I love drawing and stuff, but it's like I'm done are the days where I'm like spending an all nighter to.
Yeah, that's exactly
done.
what I'm getting at. It's like I just can't do that anymore.
Yeah. It's also I was gonna say it's like you also have you just don't have the interest. You're they can wait.
Kinda. I mean, it's like I don't really have that sort of desire to stay up all night anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what does it get me?
That's exactly it, right? It gets you less sleep, and you're kind of hazy the next day. So
yeah, it takes me a long time to get over it, and I'm just like, I'll work late, but it's like at some point I have to basically go. I'm going to go to bed. And I'll get up early and whatever. But you'll get it. Don't worry.
Exactly. Same thing here, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my monthly book that I'm working on right now for Skybound with Chip Zdarsky.
Cool.
And I'm also I've been talking about it for a while. It hasn't been announced yet, but I'm signed on to a great book. Speaking of jazz, actually, is jazz related for Image. It's going to be probably announced soon, I think. There's myself and a few other artists are on the book. It's kind of.
I bet I know who's writing it.
I bet you probably do.
Yeah.
But super excited to be on the project, and it's been hard to kind of carve out the time. So I just talked with Skybound about my schedule, so I'll be able to kind of give it I hate rushing, and so many of my books over my career have been kind of just squeezed in between other books. So
yeah.
I think I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but as you get older too, you're just like, no, I don't want to lavish this with love. I want to give it the, I've rushed too many things. I want to kind of slow it down, just a portion for.
Yeah, I mean that's how I
job,
feel. But the weird thing is, a lot of times when the stuff that I do rush seems to be the stuff that gets the best reaction.
Yeah, because I find it's more visceral, and you know what I mean. And
yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I think it's just an energy. I often regale this story where I worked on Wolverine and the X-Men with Jason Aaron.
Yeah.
And lavish that book with love. I went in there, brushed lines, ink, super just gave it all the love. It was one of my first big kind of books for Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Where I was doing multiple issues, and and then right after that, or maybe not right after, it might have been a couple jobs later, I can't remember now, but I did a couple of issues of an X Factor book. And I literally did 2 issues probably in a week and a half or so. And And like it was just ridiculous. It was like coming down, like I was penciling 10 pages a day, inking them the next day. It was just like super loose, like crazy. And I remember like later that year, I'm at a show. I have the pages spread out on the table in front of me, and the Wolverine and the X-Men pages are up, a double-page spread, beautiful. I'm proud of it. This guy's just flipping through the book. He's a kid, probably like early 20s, and he's like, I work at a comic book store, and my boss is a really big fan of yours. He loves what you did on Wolverine and the X-Men. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man. That means a lot. Tell your boss that I truly appreciate, the sentiment. He's like, yeah, but it's not for me. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm just like, it's cool, man. Each to art, each to their own. No worries. But he's like, then he flips the pages, and to the book I did literally in 4 days. And he's like, but this shit's awesome, And I'm like, in my head, I'm just like, of course it is. That's the, and you just never know what's going to be liked. And
it's true. There've been jobs that I actually look at and I cringe, and I'm like, but people like it.
Exactly. So
I don't get it. But
I think it's just the energy. There's a visceral quality to some of that. It might look wonky in some areas, but there's something else that maybe drove you to make it work or whatever it is,
totally.
So it's funny, but that's kind of what I'm working on these days anyways. And also we got the raid projects we're working on. We've been kind of exploring Kickstarter a lot and different things like that, trying to get like indie projects off the ground, and just try a different connection with your audience, as all these opportunities are kind of coming up with funding your books.
Yeah, that's not something I've tried yet, and I at some point I will, but I just haven't really committed myself to that. It's a lot of work.
It is. I mean, you've at least gone down that creator-owned path.
Sure.
A couple times over the years, if not more, and so I think it's like it's no different. I think it's just accessing a different kind of aspect of the audience. And the interesting thing we've kind of learned so far, or at least noticed anyways, there's like a huge, like on Kickstarter, there's this huge audience within Kickstarter that kind of just lives within Kickstarter.
Yeah.
They support a lot of independent artists and creators and people that you might not necessarily reach on the bookshelf, out there on in the comic book shops even.
Right.
So it's interesting. I don't know. It's an interesting time.
Well, I just feel like there are more opportunities than there have ever been to do your stuff, to do a comic.
Sure.
Yeah,
and to actually make a comfortable living off of it. Because I know a few people have gone on the Kickstarter route lately, and they've even said like they've made more money doing one issue than they have working on several books for like Marvel or DC.
Yeah. But the other thing is, it's like I do feel like if you're coming off of doing a lot of work for Marvel and DC, you're carrying that heat with you.
Yeah, for sure.
And it does help you sell your stuff.
100%. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I'm going to dive in myself next year with some of my own work, and we'll see. Like I'm not the biggest name in comics. I kind of put myself as a mid-tier name. And so I'm curious to see where I fall in the spectrum, basically.
Yeah. So, I feel the same way. It's like, I'm not like, super A-lister or anything.
Yeah.
But, you have enough of a name that you could probably sell a book,
That's the hope, yeah.
I don't have any name. So
I've forgotten your name.
My only connection is
who are you again?
is like the Warframe helps, right? I guess if I have any kind of name, it's like I was doing kind of like a Capcom artist, right? So that's people who come to the comic book shows that are like looking for that one Capcom art guy. That's kind of me, and there's a few other guys there too, but we're a rare breed more and more. So,
Like I know a lot of the shows, a lot of people would pick up art by you from Capcom. And Alexia,
it's a particular fandom. It's like I remember back when the Versus cards were really big, from Upper Deck.
Yep.
They flew me out to a gaming convention in Anaheim,
And I was just like, nobody's going to know me there or whatever. I had lines like around the corner, like
awesome.
Like bigger than I ever get at a Comic-Con, or at least at the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was like, okay, I guess. And these kids, they totally knew who I was.
Well, that's awesome.
And they were kids. That was the other thing.
Yeah. That's wicked.
Yeah.
And
this was a long time ago.
Alexia just asked a question. First of all, hey Alexia, good to see you. It's unfortunate she just ran a Kickstarter and they didn't make their numbers, but hopefully in the new year they're planning to relaunch and we can get the word out on the street for them, because she's a killer artist I've met in New York many times.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. So I want to go down her route and yes, pull off a Kickstarter for Kookaburra, my old webcomic, which I want to kind of finally see in print and finished, actually, because the story's just left hanging after years of just corporate work and working for Marvel and DC, which has been fun. But I'd like to actually wrap some of these loose ends I've put out there in the world.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy.
Me
and Sheldon got some big plans too. So
yeah, no, it's just fun. Like you start off on these different things and
Alexa, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's funny because I remember reading this one webcomic before I got into webcomics way back when, and I remember I was reading it every week, and then it just stopped updating, and then the artist kind of came up years 6 months later, was like, I got busy with work, and I just I don't really feel like finishing this story, and I was always like, man, but I get it now as being in that position, but I want to finish the story because I actually enjoyed putting it out there. So hopefully some people are still interested in seeing it finished 10 years later or whatever it might be, right?
Yeah, man. You got to get onto your other stuff you talked about. You got 700 projects you want to do.
I know.
You always seem to have a lot of things in the air.
I don't know if it's I don't know what my nature is, but I love stories, and I love telling different kinds of stories, and I think it's the curse of being an artist too. A writer can just crank out a bunch of stories every month, and but to draw them, it's that takes time.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. We're stuck doing maybe unless you're a master draftsman like Marcus Tother, who's doing 2 books a month.
Fuck yeah, Marcus.
It's but that's a burnout after a while too. I've been in that position.
Yeah.
You just want to do one and give it all the love, but.
It's funny, I do not have a reputation as being a fast artist, right? I'm not a fast artist.
But as you're finishing up this piece of art on the table right now,
but that's the thing. It's and this is what I tell people. I'm I can actually be extremely fast for a very short period of time. You know what I mean? It's I can. There are editors in this business that will tell you that I penciled and inked a book in 3 weeks before, but I'm also dead after it.
Yeah, for sure, right? No, it burns you out. I'm in that position now where this has been such a busy year. We were talking earlier, and I'm feeling burnt out. Where I'm just I just want to go disappear for a month and just not do anything. Don't draw, don't do anything, and just kind of creatively refuel myself, if that makes sense. I don't know if a lot of artists do that, but just read books, watch things.
What would you say if I told you that I also want you to disappear?
You're not going to stab me in some back alley supermarket.
Well, I am from Alabama, and I worked at a grocery store.
I don't know, man. He's got fast hands.
I'm stabby.
He's a little bit stabby. Watch out, it's Cully. He's a little bit stabby. Yeah. Oh man.
But Marcus, your stuff looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, Marcus is killer. He's that guy's a machine, drafting machine. Yeah, super awesome stuff.
Yeah. How's that Blue Beetle coming along?
He's almost done.
I hate it.
What about yours? So do you ink everything with markers now, Cully?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I use a lot of brush markers, a lot of sort of fiber tip.
So which one's this that you're using right now? This looks really cool.
This is a Kuretake. I got this from Jet Pen. It's got this really cool kind of really thick kind of nib to it, a really flexible
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I just ordered a bunch of pens from them. I have to look at that one.
Like from Jet Pen?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I just ordered a bunch from Jet Pens.
I ordered a lot of stuff from there. The pens have just gotten so good, and the ink that you get in these pens is actually India ink. It's not like what you used to get where that would turn like blue or yellow after a while.
Exactly. Yeah.
This stuff actually stays black. So.
Yeah. What is going on here? Oh, this is for the cards. Eric's work here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
Just trying some ideas here at these girls. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't think I've ever seen you draw a male figure. I was thrown there for a second.
Yeah, because I draw them like this. Come on.
Grunt, 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 grunt.
Grunt. Exactly.
Grunt. I know what your writer does.
You know our writer. He's lazy.
So the secret project you're working on, Cully, is there?
Don't ask me that.
I know you can ask him, but is there? What is the window that you're hoping to have it out to the public by? Can you say at least that?
Well,
much,
I don't know. That's going to depend on the publisher. I'm hoping to be finished with it
okay.
like maybe late spring.
Oh shit! Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I have another project that I would, it's not approved yet, but I would like to maybe go back and do at DC after that.
Oh, very cool.
We'll see.
Have you ever? Do you do much of your own writing for?
That I don't, but that's
You don't?
something I would like to do more of.
Mm-hmm.
I have written a few times here and there. Like I wrote like a Colossus story and like an X-Men Unlimited once, and I wrote there was when the Red movie came out, I did a one shot that I wrote and drew that was like 40 pages.
Oh shit! Okay.
Stuff like that. I mean, but there was a short story I did for 12 gauge that I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
So I've written here and there, but I mean, I actually, few people know this, but I actually was supposed to do a question series for DC that I was co-writing with Doug Wagner. Actually,
I think I remember you seeing art that you'd done.
I did. I drew 2 issues of it before it finally. I was so frustrated with how that was going down that. It finally got to the point where I had a meeting with the guy who was the editor-in-chief at the time, and I was doing a lot of complaining about it. And he was like, "Do you even want to do this book?" And I was like, no. I kind of don't want to do this book actually at this point. And he was like, "Well, we'll find you something else to do." And that was actually why I ended up doing the Signal with Batman and the Signal with.
There's Sheldon. Oh shit. Is he going to tell me to do more work?
Yeah.
He's here to support you, Eric, in your endeavors. Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Like, I mean, a 40-page one shot, that's nothing to scoff at writing-wise. That's like...
I'll tell you what was really interesting was I wrote an outline. I wrote like a one-page outline and then just started drawing.
Yeah.
I did not sit down and write a proper script for that. So like I sat down and I started just drawing pages. I started laying out pages. I drew all 40 pages, and then I sat down and wrote all the dialogue in like a day.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so that was kind of how I approached that. I don't know if that was a good way to do that. That's just the way I did that.
I mean, but if it works, right?
Yeah.
That's how I know. Like, I think Mignola always said with his early Hellboy stuff, he just kind of drew it and wrote in the margins the dialogue.
Yeah, actually, he was telling me, he's like, writing's easy. You just think of what you want to write, and you write that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's real easy, Mike.
Cool.
Sounds so simple.
It's so easy.
Just write.
If you want to draw it, just draw it.
Yeah. You think of something you really want to draw, and you just write that.
Yeah. It's so easy. Just add.
I love Mignola, by the way. He's like.
Oh, he's amazing.
Possibly, like one of my absolute favorite of all time. Like, he's a huge influence on me.
Oh, same. Yeah.
He did. I think he influenced a ton of people. Man.
Yeah.
Still does, right? So.
I remember.
Oh yeah.
I was so lucky to. I met him early on, like in '99, I think it was. I went to my first San Diego Comic-Con to try to get work, and I was having the shittiest show. I didn't get any work. People were like, "You suck. You can't even ink," and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
And that was your girlfriend.
And I was, and I was working as a freelancer at the time, so it was just like, Mom. But he was so like he reviewed my portfolio and he was just like super awesome about it, like very like good critique, like not like one of those like you'll do good, kid. It's like he gave me some good pointers, but also just was like don't worry about it. He's like, you're young, and I was just like, okay, but.
The first time I met him was also at San Diego Con, and it was my first year after having got my first kind of real gig.
Okay, cool.
And so it was right when they were, like, he and Arthur Adams and Byrne and all those guys were doing Legend.
I love Legend.
At Dark Horse, right? And I remember standing there in front of Mike and Arthur, and Mike saw my name tag, and he goes, "Oh, yeah, I know your stuff. You do that blocky stuff." that was the first thing that Mike Mignola ever said to me. You do that blocky stuff.
Doesn't he do blocky stuff too?
Yeah, that's what I was like. Really? Who are you talking to?
Hello, pot. You calling the kettle black? What's going on here? That's awesome. Yeah, he's a super nice guy too. I remember, last time I saw him was at Lightbox back in 2019, just before the pandemic hit.
Did that happen again this year?
It's only been online, unfortunately. I think it was like that was one of my favorite shows I've done to date. It's not really comics oriented. It's more animation / concept art. But the crowds were amazing and just so receptive to what we were doing there. I would go back in a heartbeat the moment they do a live show again. I tried to do some of these online shows that people were doing during the pandemic, but I had just like zero interest in sitting in front of my computer for more hours a day, for some, I don't know, random online interaction. I was just like, no, I don't think so. So I am looking forward to, like, hopefully.
I sit in front of my computer enough.
Exactly. That's exactly it, right? So
exactly.
I'm just like, let's get the physical shows going again. I'll happily sit there all day and interact with people. But on the computer, I'm like, nope, I want to just go home or just enjoy the weekend, So I remember, like, I think Reed Pop had these, like, you could, like, every week, or I think they had these, like, pro nights or something. You could go in and I was like, I kept getting the invite, and I was like, maybe, but I'm like, I just don't want to.
I'm lame.
I'm just going to go home and watch TV or something.
I mean, look, to be honest, like, in some ways, I'm that way at cons. Like, I'm more often liable to go, I'm just going to go to the room and go to sleep,
Sorry, Eric. Hang out, going to bed.
Yeah. Unlike Eric. Eric's like, are we going to drink tonight or what?
We're having a good time or what? I want to get up and have breakfast.
Well, if it's you guys, that's different. But, But yeah, very often I'm like, I was up late last night, and I think I'm just going to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. No more doobie-doobie-doos.
No, there's going to be doobie-doo. There's going to be a lot of doobie-doo.
We'll return.
I'll return. Yeah. Coming to a con near you.
I owe you guys a doobie-doo.
But you're tapped out, you said, for the rest of this year, probably.
Yeah, that was the only show I was going to do, was that one.
New York, yeah.
Yeah,
we should definitely, I definitely like to go to the States again and hit one show next year. We should definitely plan something, Ramon. Hopefully we can plan it with some of the guys we haven't seen, like Cully and stuff.
We should just go visit Cully in Texas, just go eat barbecue and drink.
Fuck yeah! That's the plan there.
We don't need a show.
I like all of that.
Yeah, why do we need any of that other stuff?
That's true. That's true. Why would we put ourselves?
I got plenty of room here, man. Come and hang out.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Just enjoy the trip.
That might be actually what we do.
That's one of the reasons I stopped doing San Diego. It was like San Diego became so expensive to do, and I kept the last few years we went. And Eric can attest to this. We would just hang out at a beach house, and
that sounds nice.
And we were just like, why are we even coming to the show?
Right?
We would just have barbecues at the beach house. We'd invite other artists over, and we were just like, this is way more fun. Let's just do more of this.
Yeah, that was fun. Man. We had that was the year we had my buddy Ron came down, and I think
Hepburn
and Aurora. We all shared this really cool beach house, and it's just a short drive to the con, and I'm like,
yeah.
this is living.
Yeah,
that was awesome, man.
Yeah, that was great. I think that was the last one we did. I think it was 2012. I think
that was the year I think you got your Eisner, buddy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's the last year we went. Yeah.
Yep. And you wouldn't talk to us because you were above us.
Yeah, it's exactly me. Yeah, right.
Classic Ramon.
Classic Ramon. Just like
now my convention.
Shrugging the people off. It's like, forget it.
We know you didn't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I do miss Centennial. Was beautiful. It was a lot of fun down there.
Oh, it was like
the weather there is just amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just like I would go back there for like maybe a nice casual visit, maybe, you know.
Yeah.
I think I was talking to Mark. Mark's there now. I think he said with his working for that new company, but it's
Mark
all
who?
Online. Irwin.
Oh, Mark. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That he just got that job.
Yeah. But he said I think they're located elsewhere, but he's just working remotely now for the new company. That's another guy we should get on here.
Yeah, I was saying that to Rob when you were busy getting ready. I was saying we got Mark on here. That's a lot of fun.
Mark, I always credit him. Like he changed the way I ink.
Oh yeah.
He inked me for a few pages on an Authority annual that I did back around 20 years ago, right?
Okay.
And at that point I was purely a brush guy.
Mm-hmm.
I inked everything with brush, and I actually didn't ink myself that often except on covers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he inked me. He was more of a quill guy. He was more of a Wildstormy type guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I just loved what he did so much. I was like, I need to change my whole approach. and like the very next thing that I did, or one of the next things I did was Red, and like I really changed my approach on that book, and a lot of that is due to Mark.
That's actually the first time I found your work. Actually, I was like,
I
remember seeing the ads for that book. I was like, this is cool. This is different. Like,
that was where I allowed myself to be different.
It's funny that there's certain projects that let you do that. Like I know, for me, it's been like I know like my early Marvel work. Like I'm still proud of it, but I felt like I think I tightened up.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, oh, this is Marvel. I got to do this way or whatever. And then the next book I did that Eric just referenced, like the Tale of Sandwich won me the awards. It was like that was me just letting loose and just doing whatever the fuck I wanted, right?
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel that pressure, and I think it's cool when projects give you that opportunity.
Yeah, it's like that's the first thing that project was the first thing that I ever did that actually felt like me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was in a studio full of guys who were all really fucking good.
Oh yeah.
You know? and I constantly felt the pressure of I've got to be those guys, you know. And that was the first time I really ever kind of went, I'm just gonna not be anybody. I'm just gonna do it the way I want to do it.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was like the best thing I ever did. Nice. And it really taught me a lot about, and I've spent my career ever since just basically learning to loosen my grip a little bit, and kind of like let things happen a little bit more.
Yeah.
E2E2 is in August, says Anthony. We should go there.
Where? What?
E2E2 is in August next year.
C2E2.
Really? So it's not going to be freezing, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I would love to go to Chicago in the summer. That'd be
nice. I mean,
I go watch a Bears. Oh, I can't watch a Bears game. Damn it.
I'll be there in December this year. That's gonna be fucking brisk. Damn it. But yeah, it'd be nice to have that show in a nicer weather. But I wonder if it's going to conflict with our home show though, with Fan Expo at all.
Oh yeah, well,
we'll see.
Do they sometimes like push shows because they're going to conflict with bigger ones?
No, they want you to. They want to compete. I think they want that to happen. They want to get people over to their shows, But no siree, Bob.
And we got we're coming up on.
Yeah, it's coming up on the hour. We're just doodling away here. We're like knuckling down tonight. Cully's good work ethic has rubbed off on us this evening.
Oh, please, from your lips to God's ears, right? Every editor on the planet just like choked on whatever they're drinking.
They're like, what?
You're that blocky guy, Cully?
That blocky guy. That blocky guy. He's
that
good
stabby,
stuff.
blocky guy.
The stabby, blocky guy. Gonna get you a T-shirt for the next time I see you. Something to do with stabbing.
Right. What I'm known for is stabbing.
What's
so are you saying we're almost done?
I think so. We're like 15 minutes shy of the 2-hour mark already.
Oh, I should finish this right when we finish the show.
There you go.
Perfect.
And then people can snag it on your social media probably. You ever do that? Do you ever do like art drops or
sometimes? I mean, if I do a live stream like this, yeah, I'll do like some sort of a drop. Like, you know, when we were doing a lot of essential sequential live streams, like really early in the pandemic, I would do that a lot.
Yeah, I want to.
I mean, also, it was, you know, at the time, no one was sure how we were going to continue to make a living, so it was kind of a way to make extra money.
Did it affect you? Like, were you on projects that got halted at all?
There were one or two things that got halted, and other things jumped right up to replace them. It was really weird. It's like I didn't really skip. I mean, there were a couple things I wanted to do that didn't happen, but I was not ever out of work, per se.
Well, that's good, then.
Yeah. I've actually been really surprised at how resilient comics has been.
I've you know, it's funny because like over the years, like, I mean, you've been doing this longer than I have, but like working as a freelance artist for, I'm probably coming on 25, maybe, I don't know, maybe more, 30 years. I've lost.
Oh, I'm about 30 years, so we're about the same.
You know, but like any recession, anything ever, like knock on wood, but I've never experienced a downturn because I think people need their entertainment in the tough
especially
times.
Cheap entertainment and portable entertainment.
Yeah, right. So whether it's online or TV shows or whatever, I think a lot of the stuff flourishes because people just want to kind of ignore the bad shit. I mean, I could be wrong. This is my assessment, but like,
I think that's right.
I've you know, like in all my career, I've never actually experienced a recessive kind of, you know, redux in my career because of like a recession or anything.
I mean, they always say that, you know, comics do way better in economic recessions than other, you know, media. You know, I don't know why that is, but
well, hopefully it's true and we make it well. It's like
probably the price point. Probably the price point.
I mean, I would think, yeah, probably.
I mean, they're not cheap either, though. If you think about like a comic and a Netflix subscription, you're like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of weird, but if you know, but it is a tactile thing you can kind of just carry around with you and enjoy too at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just talking shit.
I don't know. So you got a dream project in your mind that you'd love to do, Cully, one day?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've got creator-owned ideas I'd like to do. There are, you know, characters that I haven't really gotten a chance to do at, like, you know, DC or Marvel. But you know, they're characters that I've touched but have not done what I think is like my version of it yet. So you never know. I mean, like I'd love to do like some Daredevil someday. I've always loved Daredevil.
Interesting. Okay.
I've never gotten. I did like a couple of issues back in the early, like late '90s, early 2000s that you know I don't think were very good.
It'd be interesting to revisit something like that, like where you've done it, but now you're like, oh, now I'm better. I want to approach it differently. Or
well, there's a lot of stuff like that where I'm like, well, I'm just so much better than I was at that point. You know, I love it, you know, and maybe stylistically more appropriate for the character than I was at that point.
Yeah. I totally understand that.
Yeah. And there are things. I mean, like, I don't feel like I've done my kind of definitive like Superman or Batman project yet.
Yeah, I'd like to do some of that too. It'd be fun, I think.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to. I got an opportunity to do Batman once, and I actually turned it down because I was like, I didn't like the script, and I was like, everybody was like, just do it. Who cares? I'm like, but I'm not going to be into it. You know, it's.
You know, I think you got to do that. I mean, if you don't like the script or the story, then.
Yeah, and I was just
you're not going to do a good job. You know.
Like, hopefully, the opportunity will resurface because it hasn't since.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what I would love to do is I have always been a big fan of the original Fawcett Captain Marvel.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And that's just one of those characters that they just will not let me near.
They're like, nope, keep it away from Cully.
I don't know why. I've literally asked for it.
There's like there's a little Post-it note of your face with like, do not let him come near
us.
Cully. Yeah.
He's gonna mess with it.
Do not answer.
Do not answer calls.
When he calls, ignore.
Ignore it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've said that on panels before when I've gotten that question, and it always gets a good reaction, but it doesn't. Nobody at DC seems to give a shit. So,
I'd like to get my hands on some really seriously weird B-list characters and have some fun with them. But every time I suggest it to an editor, they're like, "No one wants that book," and I'm like, "Come on."
I mean, it's like I feel like I've done that. It's like shit. I mean, with Blue Beetle and The Question, and I've gotten those characters before.
Yeah.
I want to do more of the icon stuff because I've rarely gotten a chance to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Actually,
you got me jealous. Question's one of my favorite characters. I would love to do The Question. And
I love that character. And when I got to do her, I remember being offered that and going, Renee Montoya? I don't know. I mean, I'm more into the Vic Sage.
Yeah.
But when I started doing it, I kind of fell in love with the character. So. It was cool.
No, I was more the Vic Sage guy too, but at the end of the day, the character's like an identity and stuff. So
I'm just going to warn you, my iPad is probably going to run out of power here really soon.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to wrap it up then.
I'm getting low. It's like 10%.
Let Captain Cully draw Captain Marvel. I love it.
Yeah. Or Captain America. Any of the captains.
Any of the captains.
Yeah.
Captain Canada coming your way.
Yeah. So if anybody does want this Blue Beetle piece, I'll just go to essentialsequential.com and ask for it, and I'll let Jason work out a price for it.
Oh damn! Look at that. I love it. Well, thanks so much for being on here, Cully.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So good to have you on here and
really good to
chat
see you
and shoot
guys.
the shit.
Yeah, man. It'd be nice to come down and visit in Austin and be kind of taking around, not go for a show, but just experience it because you've been there, you know where all the go.
Yeah.
I was being nice about that, right? I didn't really mean it.
Off camera, he's like, "Fuck no."
Just me then, right? Not Ramon, just me. Okay.
Yeah. Just Eric. I just want Eric. I don't want Ramon down there.
No, come back.
We'll definitely hit you up on that idea. I'd love to. I've never been, and I'd love to explore. Maybe we could bring the ladies down with.
I think you probably wouldn't want to leave.
I've heard such great things about Austin. I'm looking forward to actually checking that city out one day.
Bring the ladies, and I think Annette would love to go there too. That'd be so cool, man.
Yeah, cool music scene, art scene. Yeah.
Food.
Yeah, food scene. Oh man. Oh, okay. We're gonna talk.
Yeah.
All right. Before your iPad runs out, let's tap out and say a barbecue. Yeah, Rob's he's like, yes, okay. And we'll see everybody next week.
Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. I want to list all the names, but you know who you are. Thank you. The lazy man.
He's getting lazy today.
Totally great seeing you, buddy. Love you, man.
You too.
Can't wait to cheers again and hug it out a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll hopefully see you soon, man.
All right, guys.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Cully.
See ya.
Keep making shit. Yeah.
Nice. That's fantastic.